Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. It's Mock Draft Monday here on the YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting here as of late. It's been absolutely insane how much support I've been getting. I truly do appreciate each and every single one of you who watches, who comments. I live for the debates in the comment section. I'm a football geek. Love talking about it. I'm super passionate about it, and I know there's a lot of other people out there who are too, so it's an awesome time getting to talk to people and get different opinions, different views on different things. So, really appreciate everyone who's been helping out and contributing there. With all being said, Lions mock draft 3.0, 7 rounds. Again, it's the same format. Same deal as last time, though. I did not record a mock draft on a draft simulator. I did a mock draft and a draft simulator, and I just kind of applied that to my notes here, and I'll read them off as I go. To preface real quick, though, I know some of these picks are going to be kind of not head-scratching, but controversial just due to the fact, are they going to be there? That sounds like a little bit of like a fall. I can't help it. It's the simulator I was working with. For my fourth and final mock draft, I'm going to put a lot of time into that one and probably do a couple different simulations to make sure all of these picks are realistic and legit. I'm going to do research on other people's mocks as well. This is just my last mock. This is a combination of how I value players, how I think the Lions will value players, and this is a lot of kind of what I think they should do and where I think they will go. And this is also based off reports I've read and stuff too. But this isn't perfect by any means. This is just some college student just trying to predict what his team's going to do and hoping this is how it ends up, right? But with all that being said, we're jumping straight into it. Round 1, pick number 6. A lot of people are going to be mad. It's Jalen Carter again. Same reasons as last time. Dude is an absolute freak. He is the best defensive player in the draft, in my opinion. I love Will Anderson, but I think he's better. If it wasn't for his off-field concerns, I think Chicago would be taking him at number 1 and they wouldn't have traded out, if I'm being honest. But I think there's a lot of chance too, though, that there's a lot of rumors about the Titans trading up to 3 with the Cardinals. A lot of rumors the Cardinals want out of 3. So even if it's not the Titans, I've heard a lot of QB needy teams talking to the Cardinals about moving up to 3. If that's the case, it guarantees either Jalen Carter or Will Anderson there at 6, which honestly, being just the difference in the off the field, I think I'd take Will Anderson here at number 6. I really think I would. People go, oh, if you were gonna go edge, why wouldn't you just take Tyree Wilson? Jalen Carter's just better. I know there's off the field concerns, but I don't love Tyree Wilson. I don't hate him by any means. I think he's okay. I think he's a high floor pick. I don't think he offers just the tremendous amount of upside that Jalen Carter does. Jalen Carter is without a doubt the freakiest player in this draft. Absolutely off-the-charts talented, athletic guy who, if he wouldn't have been an idiot off the field, would probably be looking at a number 1 pick right now. With that kind of talent, you can't just turn your nose at it and not draft him. With that being said, if the Lions do take someone else at 6 and they let him slip, I would understand why. I'm not saying that this is that pick it has to be. I'm not pounding the table for it. This isn't a pick I'm super passionate about. It's just a pick where I believe if he's there, his talent speaks volumes, and he's a guy you probably should take. It's just you can't deny his talent. It's at a position of need, especially with reports about Levon's Enrique. His rehab's taking forever, and they're not even sure if he'll come back due to his back injury he's had. Probably going to need some defensive linemen in this draft. And I think that's where you start and you take Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle from Georgia. Off-field concerns are concerning. I totally see that side of the argument that how can you support him with what he's done? He showed up to his workout overweight. How do you support this? But the other side of that is he's a 20-something-year-old guy. Hopefully this is just an isolated incident, and he's not like this. I've heard a lot of good things about him off the field as a teammate. So really got to hope that this is just a isolated incident. He's not like this all the time. He made a mistake, and everyone makes a mistake, So I'm really hoping and betting on the person here, which I don't know if I love betting on Jalen Carter as a person, but hey, you never know. So with all that being said, though, I'm just going to preface this one more time. I'm not pounding the table saying this has to be the pick. I could see Tyree Wilson over Jalen Carter if you think that he's that much of a headache off the field. The one thing I will say is I trust this regime so much more than any other regime to make this decision. If they don't think he's the guy, take Tyree Wilson. Take Christian Gonzalez. I don't love taking Gonzalez at 6. But point is, I'm not pounding the table saying, if this isn't the pick, I'm going to be angry. Because I'm not. It's just, this is, as a college student trying to predict what's going to happen, I think this is a very viable option. So that's what I'm picking. I'm just waiting for the comments on that one, though, because I know a lot of people didn't like it last time. But guys, I can't turn my nose to this kind of talent. The defense needs a guy like him just to be an absolute difference maker, and I think he will be a difference maker day one. Round 1, pick 18, you got Joey Porter Jr. in the corner from Penn State. This is another one where it's like, oh, how is Joey Porter Jr. going to fall to 18? The reason I think he's going to fall to 18, I think you'll see a couple receivers get taken a little bit early, like a Jackson Smith and Zay Flowers. I think 2 of them guys could get taken. I think you'll see a run on some offensive linemen. I think if a guy like Will Levis falls, you'll see a quarterback get taken in the mid-teens there. So I think there's a realistic possibility that Joey Porter Jr. falls to 18. I've seen a lot of reports that say Pittsburgh is in love with Deonte Banks, which sucks because I love Deonte Banks for the Lions. I think it's an awesome pick. I had it last mock draft, but if he's there, I'm assuming if he's there, they're taking him and they're going to take an offensive lineman probably at 32. That being said, if Joey Porter Jr. falls, I have him ranked over Deonte Banks. It's fine. So there's just a lot of different fits for different corners right now. Everyone has their board steps so differently. I've seen a lot of teams that have Keely Ringo higher and Cam Smith higher and Joey Porter Jr. higher or Deonte Banks higher. It seems like around the league, at least from what I've read, it seems like the 1A, 1B is Devon Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez. They are the upper echelon corner tier. They're the S tier corner in this draft class. And I think that just below them in the kind of like the A tier, I think you have your Joey Porter Jr.'s, your Deonte Banks, your Emmanuel Forbes in there too. That's another conversation to have, right? I think there's a lot of guys like that who are just in that conversation, that bubble, kind of that outside looking in that top corner spot. I think Joey Porter Jr. in most draft classes is a number 1 or number 2 corner. I think in this one, because it's such a great corner class, he gets pushed down to 3 or 4. I think some teams have him at 5. But I love Joey Porter Jr., love his play style, athletic, long, rangy. I see a lot of Patrick Surtain in his game, which that might be a poor comparison, but a lot of the body type and like physical attributes I see are there, and some tendencies, play style as well. I just really like him. I think his upside's phenomenal. Throw him in a cornerback room where he's not going to be asked to be the number 1 corner. He can kind of develop and become the stud that he's going to be. You got Jerry Jacobs and Emmanuel Mosley, and you got Cam Sutton. It's just a good, solid cornerback room where you're not asking him to be like Jeff Okudah. You came in, he was the number 1 guy, no questions asked. He had to cover Devontae Adams week 2 of his career. You're not asking him to do that. You're going to ask him to come in, probably be your 2nd or 3rd corner, maybe even just be your 4th. I think probably 2nd, especially with Emmanuel Moses' knee injury. I don't know when he'll be back, but I think he'll be your 2nd or 3rd corner. I think he's going to be very good. I think he's a guy who will develop and definitely supplant Cameron Sutton as your best corner in a year or 2. All that being said, if he even slips to 18, right? I've seen a lot of stuff that says he won't make it to 18, but I've seen, especially here as of late, I've seen a lot of stuff of him slipping into the mid to late teens there. I think this could happen. So, we'll see what happens. If he's there on the board, I think it's a no-brainer. He seems like a Dan Campbell type player, a Dan Campbell type person. Absolutely take him. He's a great pick. Round 2, pick 48, I have Drew Sanders, linebacker from Arkansas. This is another one where it's like, oh, is he going to make it that far? I've seen people have him in the top 30 before. I've seen people have him in top 70. He's kind of universally ranked in different boards, depending on how you value him. The Lions would value him more, I think, of a off-the-ball linebacker who can play on the edge on 3rd downs. I don't think he's going to be a true Mike linebacker for us by any means. I think he's going to play anywhere Aaron Glenn asks him to. I think he's going to be Aaron Glenn's chess piece in that defense. Can play outside probably. He can play some inside as well. He can play inside. He did it at Arkansas. He can play outside, inside, on the edge, blitzing off the ball. I think he can do a little bit of everything for you. I think he's a defensive chess piece. If you don't take him here, I think you take an edge rusher. I'm just spoiling right now. I do not take an edge rusher in this class because I think Drew Sanders is your edge rusher. I think he's a guy who offers fantastic production as an edge rusher at the SEC level. I get it's a little bit different. He's not a traditional stand-up guy on every play because he plays off the ball a lot too because he's so good off the ball. But for Arkansas, he did everything for them on defense. So I think he comes in and kind of offers some of that just Swiss Army knife, chess piece type player. Don't want to compare him to Micah Parsons because I don't want to do that. He's not Micah Parsons, but he kind of offers that similar level of, all right, we need you at linebacker this game. Okay, we need you at edge this game. We need you here this game. I think he offers that same level of versatility and chess piece-like attributes in play, where I think he's just too valuable to pass up here. At round 2, pick 55, I'm double dipping on linebackers. This is your more traditional linebacker. It's not Jack Campbell. He wasn't there. It's Daiyan Henley, the linebacker from Wazoo, Washington State. I've seen a lot of people have him ranked higher than this. I've had people rank him lower than this. I personally have him in that top 50 range. I think taking a 55 is a good value. I think that's a pretty solid spot for him, is like that 45 to 65 range, and like that, mid to late second round, I think is a pretty solid pickup for him. I really like Daiyan Henley. He's your more traditional. I think he can play Mike linebacker. I don't know if he did that much in college, though. That's my only worry. But I think he has all the attributes to be that guy. He's got the size. I think he's about 6'1", 240, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic athlete. Sideline to sideline, undercuts blocks, can play downhill in the run game. Doesn't offer the best skill set and coverage, especially for how athletic he is. I'd like to see that get improved some. But I think with coaching, that stuff can come along for sure. And I think you ask him just to come in and be probably your other linebacker. I think it's Anzalone, Rodriguez, and him. I think those are your 3 traditional linebackers. I think that Drew Sanders comes in and plays a little bit everywhere. It just depends on the package. I think that their defense is getting so creative. You saw how creative they got last year, their pass rush packages. I think that Drew Sanders, just off his pass rush talent alone, is worth taking at 48. And Daiyan Henley being a more traditional linebacker. And I know people are going to say, why do we double dip on linebackers so early? The way the board fell, it seemed like the right thing to do. I just don't necessarily love any of the other players there. I'd like taking interior offensive lineman there, but it didn't happen, so it is what it is. We're going to keep moving. So we're going to go to the 3rd round, pick 81. We're going to take Tucker Kraft, the tight end from South Dakota State. I know, guys, the tight end. No one wants to see a tight end get taken in this draft class. Don't know what to tell you. He's a great player. He's a great athlete. Offers some inline blocking ability. He is a traditional tight end. I really like his upside, especially in the 3rd round. I love his upside. I've seen a lot of pro comps comparing him to Dallas Goedert. That might be a lazy comparison because he went to the same school. But I see a lot of that in film. I think they're very similar type players in the facts of what was the word I'm looking for? Creativity in their routes. Both solid blockers, nothing spectacular, but they're solid. They're good enough. And just both offer that athletic upside to make them more of a mismatched nightmare. So I really like that pick there. People hated on the Darnell Washington pick, and it kind of sucks 'cause I love Darnell Washington. I think he is a guy who offers just that 6th offensive lineman run blocking ability day one. Even if he's not the insane tight end receiver that you want him to be, I think he's just an absolute dominant blocker. And I think that at his size and athleticism, it's going to be impossible for him not to be at least a matchup nightmare against a linebacker or a safety. So love Darnell Washington, but Tucker Kraft offers some very good attributes as well. In the 3rd round, you can get your 2 really good linebackers there in the 2nd. Wait till the 3rd, pick up a very solid tight end, and I think is a very good value there at 81. I think that's a realistic pick at 81 there. I think he will be there, but it's just more of a matter of, do you feel like pulling the trigger on a tight end in the 3rd round? I know people will say it's too rich for their blood. I completely get that. I just think the way this draft fell, I felt like comfortable enough taking him at 81 just to kind of roll with that. The other pick at 81 I was constantly was Joe Tippmann, the center from Wisconsin, sorry. And I just didn't think that they really needed to take him there. I mean, with Graham Glasgow, and especially with the guy I take later here, I didn't plan on this happening, but I thought he'd be there, and it ended up working out. So we're going to keep rolling, though. Round 5 now. You don't have a pick in the 4th, which I could honestly see them packaging their 2 5ths and a 6th and move into the 4th to take someone, but I don't think it'll happen. I didn't trade at all in this mock draft. Round 5 pick 152 here. They got Jakorian Bennett. Oh, hold on. Wrong mock here. Hold on. Sorry, wrong pick. Round 5 pick 152. I have him taking Andrew Vorhees, the guard from USC. Same pick as last time. I get it. It's not original. But it's the exact same reasons. I mean, you have Graham Glasgow, Hal Vaitai, Jonah Jackson, Logan Stenberg. Those are your guys, right? I think that they will draft an interior offensive lineman. I could see them drafting Tippmann at 81. I think that's a great pick at 81. But, I didn't see a tight end worth taking later on, besides maybe like a Kuntz from Old Dominion, or maybe like a Luke Schoonmaker from Michigan. But Tucker Kraft thought was really good value, so I didn't really want to rush to take an interior offensive lineman that I wasn't absolutely in love with. And I love Andrew Vorhees. I think he offers flexibility basically every single position on the O-line. He offers at least a solid level of play at. He played a little bit everywhere at USC. I think his place in NFL is definitely a guard, offers great pass protection technique. Played at USC, has a lot of experience in a Lincoln Riley offense that throws the ball a lot. And can block his own run pretty well. I just think he's a pretty well-rounded player, honestly. Taking the 5th round. The only reason he's there in the 5th round is due to his blowout knee he had at the NFL scouting combine. I think he's a guy who probably has a red shirt this year. I don't think he'll play at all, but I think stashing him for the future, I think he's a great player, and I think that he will make an impact. And I think that, hey, you might have to wait a year, but I think it's absolutely worth it. So, rip me anyone all you want. Value's there. The player's great. I've seen a dude bench about 40 reps, 225 with no legs. So, that sold me pretty well. Just a smart, good football player. Has a lot of experience, a lot of college football games played. Really like him in the 5th round especially. You can get a starting caliber offensive guard in the 5th round. Absolutely, why wouldn't you take him? Round 5, pick 159. This is the Jeff Okudah pick, which ironically enough, I'm going to turn into a corner and take Jakorian Bennett. I'm thinking the wrong names here. I originally had Israel Abanikanda here, the running back from Pitt, but I ended up taking Jakorian Bennett because Bennett, I penciled in Abanikanda before the draft just to kind of look for some names, but Jakorian Bennett fell, and I don't know if the 5th round is his spot. I personally think he'll go more 4th round, but he was there, and he torched the combine, has some pretty solid college film playing opposite side of Deonte Banks, looked pretty good in college, and just absolutely tore up the NFL scouting combine. Him and Deonte Banks, I think, had the two best, just terms of athletic grades in the combine. They both just absolutely just amazed people. And Jakorian Bennett's the name I really hadn't heard of until the combine, but after the combine, man, I watched some of him and shoot. Watching some Deonte Banks and seeing him too, and he's a good player. I mean, I don't think he's like he's probably going to be a depth corner, a very good special teamer, I think. Offers that kind of athlete to him as well to be a special teamer. But I think you're drafting him to be just a really good depth piece and a special teamer. In the 5th round, that's what you're looking for there. At 159, I think it's good value, especially with how I have had evaluated him. I thought he was more of a 4th round type, but hey, he was there in the 5th. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. 159, Jakorian Bennett, the corner from Maryland. Going into the 6th round, we got round 6 pick 183. Got Bryce Ford-Wheaton, the receiver from West Virginia. Same pick as last time. I know it's kind of boring, but it's for the same reasons, man. He's a stud, height, weight, speed monster, runs solid routes. The one rip I always have in his game is I don't love how he body catches at times, but you can coach that out of him, and just his athletic upside alone is enough to make me want to take him in the 6th round. A guy who has the upside to bring you what DJ Chark brought you last year. Just a height, weight, speed, deep threat type player. I think day one he offers you something similar to that. Not to that extent necessarily, but something similar to that. So I think that Bryce Ford-Wheaton, definitely a guy to look for at the top of the 6th there. I think you could even see him go up some draft boards now. He's been getting a lot of buzz here as a late round guy to like. But hey, I still have him going there. Definitely could see him going higher than that though. But if he's there, I think that's the pick absolutely. The Lions are going to have to look at receiver in this draft. I know they re-signed Marvin Jones, but it's like, is he really off you that much? You have Reynolds, I think, on contract as well. You have Reynolds, Marvin Jones, Raymond, J-Mo, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I know that sounds like a loaded receiver room. I get it. It sounds like you get a lot of bodies in there. But Bryce Ford-Wheaton is a legitimate X-type receiver. I just don't see why you wouldn't take him in the 6th round, So, with all that being said, I think he's the pick. Great value. A guy that I could see honestly developing into being a pretty good receiver on the outside. Not like a spectacular one, but I think legitimately will push the 3rd and 4th role on your team, and as a 6th round player, that's all you're really looking for. So, offers just that athletic, phenomenal upside there that you really just can't pass up. Final pick of the draft, round 6, pick 194, we got Jalen Redmond, the defensive tackle from Oklahoma. If you haven't seen his film from the Senior Bowl, look it up. This dude in one-on-ones was unblockable. He looked awesome. Really liked him at the Senior Bowl. I watched some of his college tape, not a ton of it. I liked what I saw. Coming from Oklahoma, there's a lot of question marks that, not a ton of defensive talent comes from the Big 12 in Oklahoma. But hey, liked him. Like what I saw in film. I was very surprised to see him there in the 6th round, but he really hasn't been getting any buzz. Had a pretty solid Senior Bowl. I don't know if he didn't work out at the Combine or if he had a bad Combine or what. I don't really remember hearing his name at the Combine a ton. But, I just think he is a very solid depth piece, and that's all you're looking for here in the 6th, a guy who can be a special teamer or a really good depth player. I think day one, he comes in as a very good depth player alongside guys like Jalen Carter and Ali McNeil and Levi Onwuzurike if ever comes back, but probably not. All the reports say he might not even come back, so you never know. This might be a more pivotal piece than you think it would be. Talking about Aleem, Jalen Carter, Jalen Redmond, what's the other name I'm thinking here? Isaiah Buggs. I know there's another name I'm forgetting. Point is, I think he's a great name to add to the D tackle room, especially in the 6th round. I think that's phenomenal value. All right, with all that being said, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. To kind of rehash it here, I have them going Jalen Carter, Joey Porter Jr., Drew Sanders, Daiyan Henley, Tucker Kraft, Jakorian Bennett. Oh, I missed Vorhees. Sorry, Vorhees, then Jakorian Bennett, Bryce, Ford-Wheaton, and then Jalen Redmond. So, with all that being said, I think that's a pretty solid mock draft. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Really excited to talk this out. New mock draft will be coming very soon. I'm going to spend a lot of time making that one as good as I can. So, if you guys don't love this one, stick around. I promise I'm going to do my best to make this last one the best one it can be. I'm going to release it probably a week from today just to give it a couple days to build some traction before the NFL draft. And I want to get the most up-to-date information absolutely possible. So thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.